Good morning, children. So I hope so people have listened to the previous video, and it is must for all of you. Why? Because this chapter is in continuation with the previous video, and in the last chapter I have ended what Indian National Congress, right? Indian National Congress, who was the founder of Indian National Congress, Alan Octavian Hume. He was a Britisher who was quite sympathetic towards India's political cause, right? And he has taken almost all educated Indians along with him, and he has founded this body, right? And this body's objective was what? To formulate the demands in front of the Britishers. Clear, everyone? They have ample of demands, and they really want Britishers to fulfill them. Clear? And these demands, obviously, they were all unjustified by the Britishers, and they really want these demands to be fulfilled and to be, to be improvised on the part of Britishers. Like they wanted the expansion of legislative council. They really want more and more employment of the Indians, and they really want Arms Act to be abolished. Clear, everyone? Arms Act, everyone knows. Clear? So this video, obviously, now this chapter, now this video is talked about what this video. This in this video, I'm starting with the chapter early nationalists who were known as the moderates, and these early nationalists, they were all the members of Indian National Congress, right? That's why this video is quite important. Clear, everyone? Now this early nationalism or the moderates, they were all the members of INC, Indian National Congress. Clear? And now these members, now what was the qualification of these members? Actually, they were all the qualified people, right? And they simply come under the Indian National Congress, and where they were simply proving themselves in front of the Britishers. Clear? And obviously, when they were the part of Indian National Congress, and this body was not there to attack the Britishers, this body was just there to present the demands in presence of the Britishers, that too in a mild and a moderate manner. And that's why these members came to be known as the early nationalists or the moderates, right? At any cost, they don't go against the Britishers. And basically, what is the essential feature and their essential characteristics, if you rather say, is what? They never go against the Britishers. They believe in their methods of in their methods of justice, and plus they believe in Western education, right? Everyone, they simply copied Britishers, right? They believe in everything what Britishers did, and on the contrary, what they wanted to do, they just wanted to present the demands in the mild and a moderate manner, calm and a peaceful manner, right? That's why they came to be known as the moderates, right? So let's start with this now. Early nationalists, their characteristics, their features, and lot many things in this video. Clear? Let's start now. Okay. So we have now, before starting, I'm going to, tell you about the date. There were many different dates, and in these dates, these early nationalists rose to power, right? They have dominated the Indian National Congress. Now, from where? From the founding, like that means which date? From which date they have simply started dominating the Indian National Congress? The date is 1885 till 1905, till the time the partition of Bengal, was imposed in India. Clear, everyone? So 1885, everyone knows 1885 the Congress was founded in the year 1885. So obviously these members, those who are in the initial start of Indian National Congress, the members who have joined the Congress, the educated class, the educated Indian class, they all have become early nationalists or moderates, and they have started dominating from 1885 till 1905, right? This was their golden period. Clear? Next, now the members, let's come on to the members now. The members were W.C. Banerjee, Rash Bihari Bose, Surendranath, Dadabhai Nauroji, Krishna Gokhale, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, right? And obviously along with them we have the Englishman A.O. Hume, who was the founding father of Indian National Congress. So I hope so people are not getting confused. Who were early nationalists? They were nothing. They were just simply the part of Indian National Congress. They were all educated Indian class, right? And they were the members of the Indian National Congress in its initial stages. Clear? And they've simply dominated INC from which date? From the date 1885 till 1905. In 1905, the Bengal partition was implemented in all over India. Clear? Let's start now. Okay, now characteristics now. After we have read about the dates and the members of early nationalists, let's come on to the characteristics, right? Their features. Now, what happened now? What was their main essential characteristics is they represented the educated class, professional class. Clear? They have moderate views. They simply, their views were not aggressive. They were mild and peaceful. They were quite, and they simply presented their demands in a peaceful manner. Next, they had unlimited faith in the Britishers' sense of justice. They never go against the Britishers. Clear? Then next, they ask for constitutional reform. Constitutional reforms, what do you mean by that? They really want the changes done in the constitution within the permission of the Britishers. Everyone knows before before independence, whose constitution was followed by in India? Obviously it was a British constitution. Their rules and regulations was followed in India, all over India, right? Now these moderates, what they wanted to say, they don't want to abolish the constitution of the Britishers. They didn't want that. They just wanted mild changes to be done in the constitution on the from the Indian side, right? And that too within the ambit of, within the view of the Britishers, within the permission of the Britishers, right? This is known as constitutional reforms. Next, within the framework of British rule in India, they carried their agitation. Agitation, it is a form of protest, through petitions and resolutions, right? They go for petition, they file their petitions, they file the applications, right? They talk, right? They attend the meetings, right? Through all these methods, they adopted with, before talking, in the presence of the Britishers while talking. Clear, everyone? Next. Now, objectives and demands. Now, initially, obviously, when this body was formed, Indian National Congress and these early nationalists formed this body, right? They basically they were the members of this INC, right? So they have simply kept few demands in front of the Britishers, and this demand isn't categorized under following headings. The first demands is in the form of constitutional reform. They really wanted to change the constitutional reform. Some reforms to be changed in the constitution. Whose constitution? Don't get confused. It was a British constitution, right? And the next, next category is what? Administrative reform. They wanted the change in the administration, right? And in these both reforms, if you see, they never go against the Britishers. They just wanted the few changes to be done so that Indians will get satisfactions, Indian will get justice into the hands of the Britishers. Clear, everyone? So let's start with constitutional reform. What they've demanded under this body, under this category, right? So what they demanded, they asked for the abolition of India Council. Now, council was a body founded by the Britishers in India, right? That's why it came to be known as India Council, founded in the year 1861. Clear, everyone? And now what they wanted to abolish this India Council. Clear? Next, because this council hardly had any Indians, right, as a member. Now next, they wanted to expand the legislative council. That means it was founded in 1861. Legislative council means they wanted more and more Indians to be appointed in this council or a body. If you see, this is the present time parliament. If you compare this legislative council, this is the present time parliament, and they really wanted to more and more employment of Indians in the administrative department of Britishers. Clear? So that Indians make them aware politically, how the politics, how the administration works, how the system of governance is working under the Britishers. Clear? Next, now they wanted this council to be given more power, right, in legislative and financial matters, sorry, right? So if Indians do get appointment in this council, so they started asking for various reforms in legislative and financial reforms, right? If they wanted to, obviously Britishers have taken everything, the finances of India, right, everything they have taken under them now. But these Indians, what they want, they too wanted to participate in this, in this council, so that they too had a say. They too wanted to express their opinion in matter of budget. Suppose if they pass the budget in financial matters, right, in financial department, so at least if some Indians get appointment, so they come to know what form of budget they were passing, right? They come to know the rules, regulations, and the strategies which they were using. Clear? Come on to next. Now they insisted on colonial form of self-government. They wanted to keep India as a colony. They don't have any problem. Who has no problem? The early nationalists. But they wanted this self-government, right? Self-government means they had the right to have their government on their own, on their part, right? But it has to be under colony, like to act as a colony. That means everything has to be under the Britishers. They can try to see this way, you try to understand. That means they have the government, right? They can form their own government, their own I'm sorry, they can form their own government, but they wanted with the permission of the Britishers. Everything will be decided by the Britishers, but the government they will form on their own, right, everyone? This is known as colonial form of self government. Everything they will work under the British constitution. Clear, everyone? Come on to another category, that is administrative reform. Now under administration, what they demanded wider employment of Indians in higher services. Then they wanted exams to be conducted both in India as well as in England, right? If you see Lord Lytton in the previous chapter, that's why I'm saying, just listen to the video very carefully. Like in the previous video, what I have explained about Lord Lytton repressive policy, and where he has mentioned he has reduced the age of ICS exams from 21 to 19. Clear, everyone? So that to make it more tricky and difficult for the Indians, so they don't be able to crack this exam. But what they want, what these moderates, early nationalists demanded in this under administrative reform, they wanted what? They wanted the competition to be there in this exam. That means they wanted this exam simultaneously to be held both in England and in India. Clear? Next, they wanted representation of Indian Executive Council. If you remember, what do you mean by legislative? It is the organ of the government, everyone knows. At the time also, under Britishers, there were different organs here, of the government. The first is legislative, making laws, executives, the members. So they wanted in all the organs their participations. Clear? Who wanted? Indians. Next, now they wanted separation of executives and judicial functions. Right now, executives means member, judiciary means courts. So they wanted to keep it separately. And obviously this is not a new thing in present scenario. If you read civics, as I explained you in the chapter Parliament, that means judiciary has to kept independent and separate, right? So that legislative wing and executive wing will not dominate the judiciary body. Clear? Next, increase in the power of municipal bodies. Municipal bodies are local level bodies, right? So they too wanted the employment of Indians in municipal bodies. So if you see in both these reforms, Indians really wanted to make their presence in the administrative department of the Britishers, right? In their legislative council, in their executive councils, they wanted their appointment, right? Come on to next slide now. Now, objectives of the moderates. Now, another objectives, we are continuation with that. So earlier, what I have revised, earlier what I have discussed, earlier I have discussed about the constitutional reforms. They demanded certain changes in the constitutions. Who? The early nationalists or the moderates, and the administrative reform. Clear? Now we have economic reform and safeguarding the civil liberty. So let's start with economic reform. Now, they too wanted to change some reform. They wanted to bring some reform in economy of India, right? Economy of India, everyone knows what they did with the economy, what Britishers did with the economy. They charge heavy taxes on the goods and services. They just wanted to make India as an agricultural colony so that Indians won't be able to rise. Clear, everyone? They simply pressed, they simply attacked indigo planters. Everyone knows. Clear? So what type of reforms these early nationalists wanted? Now the very first thing, they wanted to reduction in land revenue and protection of peasants. This is a very good reform which they have demanded. Is what? They wanted to reduce the land revenue, the revenue which they have increased, which Britishers have increased on the land, and plus they wanted the protection of the peasants. And peasants, it was they had a pathetic condition, right? Britishers attacked them like anything. Clear? Come on to granting of loans. Now, then they wanted the loans to be granted from agricultural banks, and who's going to give the permission, right, for these loans? The Britishers. Then they wanted the abolition of salt tax. They wanted tax to be abolished on salt and the duties on sugar, right? Everyone knows the whole class of India is eating salt and sugar, and what Britishers did, they simply charges high taxes and duties on salt and sugar that really affects all section of the society. Here, everyone. Next, industrial growth through trade protection. They wanted industrial growth of Indian industries, right? They wanted their growth and trade protection means they protect the trade of India with their policies and programs, right? Who has demanded all these things? The early nationalists or the moderates. Clear? Then next, reduction the expenses on the army. Then they wanted to reduce the expenses on the army, right? Army, who has the right to maintain the army? The Britishers. Don't get confused. Indians are maintaining the army. No, here the Britishers are maintaining the army, and they were simply imposing the heavy amount on the army. Now, what these early nationalists try to say under this heading, under economic reform, they wanted to reduce the expenses on the military, right? And they wanted to spend this amount on the social services, right? So all these demands are simply asked, presented by the Indians, by the early nationalists or the moderates in presence of the Britishers, right? Now next, under safeguarding the civil liberty. Now civil liberty means freedom, civil right to express and right to express and speech, where and what Britishers were doing with the Indians, they simply banned their rights, right? Their fundamental right to speak and express themselves. So here what moderates want, they want the protection of their civil liberties, right? Civil liberties I already explained you. Liberty means the freedom. Now what the early congressmen oppose the freedom of speech and expression. Clear, everyone? Here what they want, they simply what Britishers did, they simply banned their freedom of speech and expression. Clear? But early nationalists wanted this these restrictions to be abolished by the Britishers, right? Then they wanted the right to assemble and form associations, right? Everyone knows this is the fundamental right, and these rights Britishers has curbed. Next, then they want a separation of a free press. Now what Britishers did, they simply banned the press. Everyone knows that's why they passed the Vernacular Press Act. But under these moderates, early nationalists, what they wanted press to be without restrictions so that they can publish their magazines. Clear? And Britishers banned the press. Why? Because they simply write against the Britishers, the articles against the Britishers. Clear, everyone? So this way we have come to the end of this video, right? So I hope so people have understood the early nationalists or the moderate and what were their characteristics and what they were believing into. Clear? So in the whole video, if you see in the slides and all, they never go against the Britishers. They simply kept their demands, and it's up to the Britishers whether they fulfill or not. So I'll continue again in the next video, right? Till then, do listen to it attentively. Okay, thank you so much.